Now from Senegal and Mauritania's new liquefied natural gas here in West Africa to Eskom in South Africa, bringing back some 930 megawatts from the Coburg power unit. The Africa's energy industry is getting off to some cheering start in the new year 2025. And there is more in the latest global energy news that is worth sharing with my guest, NJ Ayuk, the executive chairman at the African Energy Chamber in Johannesburg. It's great to get together early in the new year.
Happy New Year, more blessings, more greetings, more money, and I wish you the best in 2025.
I guess you're going to say more oil.
Oh, there's going to be more oil, abundant oil. We're going to be blessed with oil in 2025. Believe you me, because we're going to drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, the world of energy never sleeps, my friend. So let me hit you with a couple of headlines and we'll just pop up and get a touch base with you. Now, two of the world's biggest banks, Citigroup and JP Morgan, have suddenly announced their exit from the Net Zero Banking Alliance, according to reports from Bloomberg. How much more about this can you tell me? What's going on there on Wall Street?
I think they are reacting to pressure from some of us that I've always told them they were wrong on getting that net zero alliance. They are reacting to markets and they are reacting to fundamentals when you see where the industry and the world is going. The world needs oil. Oil is also important. It is a gift from God and we are going to produce it. But what was done is that you found a net zero alliance where banks stopped lending to oil and gas projects and they realized that it was not beneficial for them, their shareholders, investors, and also you saw the critical role that oil continued to play, the ESG narrative that they really try to shove down our throats in Africa is falling apart, and you would see a lot of pension funds, be it in the US, be it in the Europe, they're saying we're going to take our money out of these banks, and believe you me, boys, and there's going to be a lot more banks that are going to back away from that, because this transition has been mishandled by radical extremist politicians. It's been run by Just Stop Oil, Extinction Rebellion, and Greenpeace. The NGOs have never created a job. We need to get free markets. We need to get energy developers, producers, and let the markets work. And we are going to have a coalition of the willing to drive up energy, build energy poverty, not an axis of evil with these green groups and banks not wanting to give money to African or oil projects. We think oil projects are here to stay. We are going to drive more oil. We don't need less oil. We need more oil. We need more gas. And in some stages, we even need more coal to fire up Africa and drive up our energy security.
Well, then let's step back into the continent. We're going to see how the Net Zero Banking Alliance begin to unwind in the manner of speaking.
History. They had a project that was challenging. It's never happened before, but they've gone in to become first gas producers. You don't even know what is even better here. Something that has not happened in Africa. Two nations, Senegal, Mauritania, they cut a deal, came together on cross-border development. They did that and they built that LNG project that is going to be the best, one of the best in our continent. And it came right on the dying hours of 2024. These guys were at work. The GTA is going to be an amazing project. BP, Cosmos, they did a brilliant, fantastic job in getting a challenging project going. And I think we need to give credit to them for what they've done. But you're also going to see a lot more on the next phase, because the next phase of the GTA is going to be big. And that next phase is going to be great for Senegal because it's going to go a lot into providing gas for the country for industrialization, gas to beat energy poverty. I think BP and Cosmos and both Petrosen and the Mauritanian National Oil Company, they need to be given so much credit. These guys just did a yeoman job in getting this stuff done. And I'm so proud of them and I'm proud of the leadership of both countries. But they need to honor the sanctity of contracts. They need to work hand in hand with the oil companies. ways. They need to find ways to improve national participation and continue to encourage these investors to continue building on the next phases. Don't stop there. Keep moving, keep driving, and keep drilling for more gas in that country, in those two countries.
I was reading up your very lengthy item on LinkedIn about the Sangoma and the Mauritania project, and I saw the Cosmos Energy, and I remembered your fireside chat at the start of the African Energy Chambers 2024 annual event in Cape Town just about 2 months ago, and how you took on the CEO of Cosmos Energy about what he's doing in Africa. And I said, look, I think we still have some friends in Africa as well when you look at drilling for gas, for oil on the continent, and how these countries are sticking with countries that are ready to do business very quickly, put boots on the ground, sign contracts, integrity of contracts, and things like that, moving on. But that is the good news. Let's look at some ongoing political developments in Mozambique. The unrest after the presidential election is ongoing. How sad is this news? What are you laying on the ground? How quickly do you think Total will be able to get back on ground, deal with these political issues, even with the existing insurgency on the northern part, in the northern corridor of the country?
You know, Burson, I just spent over the last 10 days in Mozambique. I was in Mozambique. I was on the ground. I saw some of the violence and I saw a lot of the unrest. But I can tell you this, don't bet against Mozambique. Don't bet against Mozambicans. They're going to get this together. They got a fledgling democracy that is struggling, but is going to come back. Total Energies, he is going to move into Mozambique this year. The new president, young man, Chapo, 47 years old. I mean, I'm more good looking than him, but I can tell you this guy is going to get these projects on and he's going to push it on. He has a very strong commitment to ensuring that gas projects are developed, whether it's the Exxon projects or other projects around Rubuma or the projects by ENI, but he is going to really do what the past or previous leadership has not done, engage with the people. He comes from a younger generation. He is really, really connected with everyday young Mozambicans. And you see the violence is going down, it's subsiding because he's been on the phone engaging with with various parties of the opposition to build a big, strong coalition and then govern with true purpose. So I think we should really look at Mozambique. What is even going to be even more interesting is how he is able to bring in those dollars from the United States Exim Bank or the UK Exim Bank to finance some of these gas projects, because those are some of the biggest gas reserves in the world. And Mozambicans must not let this opportunity pass by. And that is what we must be driving there. I'm ready to go back to Mozambique. I spent 10 days there. I liked it a lot. You know, it was challenging, but I'll be going right back there with them. I think we need to stand with them shoulder to shoulder, and we need to go very strong forward with drill, baby drill in Mozambique, but also do it peacefully.
I also saw in your write-up about Nigeria, some of the deals there, and I'm thinking what your top energy project picks for Africa will be in the new year when you look at Nigeria with the Total, the Owando deal, the ExxonMobil deal, the Seplat Energy deal. The oil and gas sector did some decent gains last year on the stock exchange, taking a cue from President Tinubu's reforms in the oil and gas sector, at least getting some of those existing contracts signed off. There's still quite a bit more on the table. Tell me more about some of these projects that you are very enthused over in the new year. NJ.
I think we got to pay attention to the Bonga deal with Shell. I think that development is something that was delayed, but it's gone up and it's moving bigly. I like that project a lot. The Owando deal is a very special one. You know why? They got into those fields. They've been working. They've increased production. And you know what that means? It means that an African company, when they put it together, they can do well and as good or as better than their international counterparts, but they're doing it in a very cost-effective way, and they're doing all the enhanced oil recovering, they're doing the infill drillings, so really watch out. But this is the big one which I'm a big fan of, UTM Offshore. UTM Offshore's project will be Nigeria's first floating LNG. They're going to make history. And if Nigeria is going to have the first floating LNG, it's not going to be done by an international company. It's going to be done by a Nigerian company, a Nigerian entrepreneur coming together and really saying, we're going to take Nigeria's gas industry with innovation, have a floating LNG project that it's really going to reshape how that is done. And UTM probably going to be the only African floating LNG owned by an African, and that sets the pace for this company to expand across Africa and also across Nigeria, really driving up gas. And once yesterday's nobody becomes today's somebody. So whatever people thought Nigeria was going to be a disaster is going to become a bonanza, because you see Nigerians really saying they're going to shape up. But we also got to continue keeping the pressure on the President Tinubu's administration. The minister was at Energy Week with us. I had a very fruitful conversation together with the advisor, Olu. They were very, very intense and very direct that they're going to get it done. So I need to give them credit that all the promises made during Energy Week, they kept it and they got those approvals done, those permits done, and we've seen how things are moving. But local content and other things around Nigeria, this African giant, this African leader must continue leading. And please don't bet against Nigerians. They are going to shock the world with energy development. And I say that as somebody who has a lot of love for that country. I hope they give me a passport someday and I'll move there.
It's just a great passport. You're just next door, my friend. You can get it on. Things are moving. Exactly. You're welcome anytime, my friend. Well, but if we step outside Nigeria, you look at Angola, Namibia, around the Africa's basin in the southwestern part of the country and elsewhere. Well, what are you looking at? What are some of the projects you're very keen about in development that you think will be a game changer for this year that everyone should key into?
Pay attention. GARP yesterday did a successful appraisal discovery in Namibia. Namibia everybody drills in Namibia and gets new discoveries. Total Energies expects to get FID on Venus, its big discovery in Namibia in 2025. Exploration campaigns by Woodside and Chevron are already taking off in Namibia. BW Offshore is going to move more. So Namibia is still going to be a hotspot. But look down in South Africa, around the Orange Basin, you see a lot. Total Energies is going to do 2 wells some wells on its blocks just south of Namibia. Potential big, massive discovery. I'm seeing some multi-billion barrel discoveries that Total is going to have up there. You also got to look at Angola. Before the end of the year, first gas on Chevron's projects. Now, Angola had that project that they have been working on. They had first gas. More exploration is going to come out of Exxon, and then Total is going to develop the former cobalt project. So Angola is going to continue being a hotspot. But here's the beauty about Angola. If you reform, if you change, if you get things done, you do it right as Diamantino and his team have done, then you're going to see a lot of investment come in. Shell just moved into Angola. After many years, they're going right back into Angola. Azule, a joint venture between ENI and BP, they're going to do more exploratory work, and they even extended into Namibia. Don't forget North of Africa. Exxon and Chevron are pursuing an oil play in Egypt. That's going to be big. Keep an eye on that. But also look at what Turkish Petroleum is doing in Somalia. They're going to spot a wildcat well around Somalia. But come right back to Central Africa. Congo Brazzaville, $650 million going right into Total Energies project. Small companies like Ahmad and even the other big boys like Perenco, they're going to be doing a lot of independent wells. This is going to be a 2025 of drill, baby, drill Africa. We are going to drill everywhere in this continent. Governments just have to meet the drillers on the right spot with the right fiscals and move on this project. So I'm excited this year, and we're going to be announced some big ones at Africa Energy Week this year when you come down in October.
Yes, interesting. We're looking forward to that. I'm sure you saw oil prices up today. NJ Ayuk again, and gas prices. Ukraine shut off Russian gas pipeline. That was quite Very, very, very interesting. Oil and gas index on the Euro Stock 600 was up about 2.34% today in reaction to that. We have Donald Trump getting sworn in on the 18th or so. What other developments, major global developments you are watching in the new year, this new year, and what do you think they would mean for Africa's energy industry?
I think a big part of it is that we are going to welcome the Trump administration with open arms and be willing to work with this administration and see how African energy industry can really work with them. Big part of what we expect, seeing the market, the volatility in the market is not good, but we need to be able to start that conversation and to really see how we get prices to a stable period, places where consumers and producers are happy. But look at what you pay attention to the substance and real depth. That substance, real depth, what Africans have to be looking at is the chokehold on financing. You just talked about the Net Zero Alliance collapsing. But that financing is, we got billions of dollars stuck in the US Exim Bank that was destined for a lot of African energy projects. It's not coming in. A lot of stuff could go into that Total Energies and Mozambique project. They need it. A lot of money could go into Exxon's or Chevron's projects. They need it. And we need to close that distinction that you got to only fund green energy. We were going to have potential allies in the US government and many other Western governments that we could start driving financing for fossil fuels and really be able to develop that. But African states got to do their own. We need to really start looking at how we tap onto onshore Africa. That's something we're not looking at. Onshore Africa is going to be so important. We're going to be it's going to be really exciting if you see us spotting on wildcat wells onshore, and small African players can do it, especially those who have been experienced in Nigeria. So it's going to be a very interesting dynamic, and we are going to do very, very well with the Trump's administration policy of drill, baby, drill. We think it is in sync with us, but they're going to work on American energy security, and we got to put an Africa first strategy and African energy security, and that's what it's going to mean. And we, for once, we will not have a U.S. presidency that is going to be on our necks and saying get rid of fossil fuels. At least we have an opportunity for 4 years. We need to drive up African energy development with drill, baby, drill policies, fire up every natural gas project we can do, turn out some of the coal mines that we have abandoned, and really drive that up to take off our energy security. That must be our crying call for 2025.
All right, that's a big rally call for the new year. Thank you so much, NJ Ayuk, the Executive Chairman at the African Energy Chamber in Johannesburg. Thanks a lot, as always, for those industry deep insights. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening and have a baby drill, New Year 2025. Finally, on the markets tonight, I was talking about the stock market in Europe. The first trading day was